education in Japan and importance of Japanese language skills.
JavaScript school JavaScript pen ko topic higachi
皆さんこんにちは。It was a great congregation of great speakers coming from Japan as well as from Pune. Personally, I am delighted to join this seminar, organized essentially at the fulcrum is Prashant Pardeshi Sir. Thank you so much. My topic is education in Japan and the importance of Japanese language skills. Now at MOSAI, I represent an organization called as MOSAI, Momosho Scholars Association of India. And we organize EJU tests. We also organize education fairs in Pune and Delhi. Now education fairs in Pune and Delhi are organized in various institutions so that we spread this message that Japan is also another alternative destination for higher education. Myself, I have been as a postdoc in Chiba, and I do realize the importance of having our students travel abroad to Japan for higher education. In this hall, we have 90-95% students who are opting for Japanese language to go to Japan. We add on to that and try to send students to learn engineering, medicine, arts, humanities, law. Next scholarship is one of the most prestigious scholarships even in Japan. For the first time in our country, through Reshma Kulkarni-san, we organized training students to appear for next and EJU exams. We had this effort done for almost 3 years, and that gave us the first results wherein just 4 students, they have gone to Japan on EJU, next, as well as for postgraduate education. Now this is only a start, and we are sure that the number will go great. Now how many students go from Pune or India? Now I will give you the numbers here. We have 300 international students expected to be in Japan, out of which only 140,000 students, international students, exist in Japan as of date. They have a target of 300,000 students. China has a number. China sends 78,000 students in. Korea sends 14,000 students. Vietnam is sending 11,000 students. You all will be surprised that total number of students from India with a population of 125 million, we are sending just not more than 700 students. Out of which, on the scholarship, we are sending not more than 15 to 20 students every year. So this number is too low, and MOSAI is putting in efforts to see that the number increases to minimum 10,000 through a concerted effort of training. From Pune to the US through GRE exams, almost every year, almost 12 to 15,000 students only from Pune they go to the US. So you can understand the differential which is available for our students to go for higher education in Japan. Now, why a student should go to Japan? We have gone through today's program and seen that the opportunities exist for students, not only Japanese language students, but for other faculties as well, of gaining employability. That's the basic purpose why we take education. I was just talking to CG during lunch break. He has given a very interesting future prospect for Japanese language and Japanese language or Japanese educated students from our country. He said, and that's very important for all of us, he said that Japan plans to have India as a hub to train the students for Middle East and African countries as well. Now, if our students, they learn Japanese, they get trained in Japan, and through that education in Japan, they have Japanese culture imbibed. What more can you expect from the employer to give them a proper employment? The employer wants such students, such candidates who will proactively support their activities for global market. They are not talking only for Japan, not only for India. India itself, we will be having a lot of Japanese companies coming here, but for Middle East appointments as well as African markets. So that's a big opportunity available for our students to go there. Scholarships are available. Now what is declared is a Momosho scholarship, wherein you have numbers of up to 60 every year, which slowly they will increase. But beyond Momosho scholarships, there are private scholarships available, and there are almost 1,000 scholarships available in the universities. A proper scholarship wherein a student can not very comfortably, but at least very decently get educated in Japan. Second important point what I have mentioned is the cost comparison. In the US, UK, Australia, the costs over there and Japan are not very different, because that's a misunderstanding which exists in the minds of parents that Japan is too costly. Well, it is costly if you try to go on the higher scale. But when it comes to education, the education costs are very comparable to any other country in the West. Japan has world-class education infrastructure. When it comes to precision working in any company, Japan, the name Japan will be at the top, even ahead of US. Probably innovation, it will be US. But when it comes to precision working, meticulous working, with discipline, it is Japan and Japan only. So as I mentioned, there are large Japanese investments in India expected in the next 5 years. Bullet train is one of the decisions taken. There are several companies coming in the Make in India campaign. And strategically, Japan and India are coming much closer than whatever has happened in the past. So at this point I also had mentioned that employment opportunity in Japanese companies exists by default. Japan educated qualified staff is preferred across all industries. That's another important point that I have experienced in my business as well. That a person who has got himself trained in a Japanese company, he learns the methodical way of doing things. There is a logic, there is a purpose, and more importantly, what most of you would have experienced if you have traveled to Japan, there is a culture of teamwork which comes in. It's not individualistic achievement, but a team spirit which gets inculcated through his own work. And that becomes important for other industries as well if you are trained in Japan. Having Japanese language skills gives basic confidence for living in Japan. Now, Professor Hori Sensei had given a very nice quote that Kore sore are, this is what we have learned in the past. And that when you enter Japan, we feel out of place. So, with the new developments in the teaching methodologies, probably this would also help us. There is a group, G30 universities group offering English-based undergraduate and postgraduate programs in Japan. So it's not necessary that you have to have very high Japanese language skills. And other universities also programs in Japanese. But here I would say, it's a personal suggestion is, since you are traveling to Japan, you should have good Japanese communication skills to survive in Japan, rather more importantly, to communicate with your lab colleagues. That language is important, though you may take English language courses. You understand the culture better in the local language. Studying in Japan with good Japanese language skills is the future to good employment opportunity in India, Japan, or with Japanese companies existing across the globe. Thank you for your patience.